to the show!
What was the first band that you were in that actually was more than just
Barracuda.
Barracuda?
Absolutely. Barracuda was my first band I was in. Actually, the first band was the Stars, but Barracudas came in and they were great. We had like an accordion, plugged in, an accordion, electric accordion. And we had a sax and a guitar. I think, oh shit, not even a bass.
About what year was this band?
60s, early 60s, like middle 60s, like right before the Beatles kind of, and then the Beatles came in and we had to do Beatles songs. Then I got a Beatle hair, then I grew my hair like the Beatles, I became Ringo Starr. Actually, I thought it was John Lennon playing drums.
And then your first band, let's say, that was a professional caliber with Chelsea. How did you come to form that band, or how did you?
I put an ad in the paper. Good old ads. Only this wasn't the Rolling Stone. This was in the Village Voice. And they called me, and I went down for an audition at Mike Van Banger's basement, and he loved me. He just thought I was a monster. I had this big 26-inch drum, these old heads on the back, breaking things and smashing stuff. And Michael fell in love with me, and all of them did. And then we became friends, like any other band, and we started hanging, and started smoking pot together and eating lunch together and going to beer gardens together. It was cool. That was a good time in my life.
That's
no heavy narcotics, no drugs, like a little marijuana, some brews, and maybe a bottle of a two. It was nice.
One of the most fun parts about being in a band, you have sort of a family more than your own.
Absolutely.
So how long was Chelsea together, and how was it that you got to do a record and all? Could you tell us a little bit about those days and no one has ever heard of that?
I don't know. Chelsea was probably together maybe 3 years. I don't know. We were together a while. And Mike knew the guy Ninsky. The night they raided Ninsky in The Love Story, the producer, he knew his son, Barry, who wanted to be a manager. His son, his kid had everything, so I think I'll be a rock manager. But we get in touch with this guy. I've signed more contracts. I could plaster my walls with. And we got in touch with this guy. Next thing I know, we were doing an album with Decca. And shit, it was like we were in a studio recording. And our engineer eventually was Gene Simmons and Paul Stanley's producer in Wicked Lester. Ron Johnson. Dig that. Talk about small world. So when I met them and they took me to Electric Laserland to hear their tapes, what a smart bunch of boys, sit me down, put in some big JBLs to blow me away. I'm going to love it. Ron Johnson was there already. Ron loved the way I played drums, and he told them, you got to get this guy. You got to talk to Monster. And Ron was a nice guy. So we had, that's just a little trivia.
And then at some point Chelsea broke up, or everybody...
Yeah, shit. Mike and Peter, the lead singer and the rhythm, the lead guitarist quit. Then Stan Penridge got into the band. I quit.
That's where you met Stan?
Yeah, but I quit because I didn't like him at first. We're still friends, but boy, in my book, there's some stories about him. We've gotten in a lot of trouble together. I don't blame him, but in a way, it seemed to have guided me into the heroin cocaine world. I seemed to got in there somehow through him where I never really did it. I was just smoking pot and drinking wine.
But didn't you
understand all that bullshit. So Stan got in the band, and then things started getting weird, and then all of a sudden, started to be where I'd walk in where I was doing the writing, and Stan would be there ahead of me with one of the guys writing, and then lay a tune on me. That's the worst thing you could do to me, because I feel like I was participating. I felt kind of like, what the fuck? You working without me now? Because I was there way before him. We did an album. And so, I don't know, it just got lousy, and then all of a sudden he turned me then, and Mike with him, and then we turned against Peter and Mike.
Didn't you had something going on with Stan Penridge a couple of years ago, 3-4 years ago? Yeah.
That was it. That broke the camel's hump.
Right.
That was the end of it for me. I knew then that he and I were maybe good if we stayed in the room and wrote together. That was cool. But getting into the real planet, the real world, forget about it. There's no way him and I belong on the road or in a band or on a stage, because
in the studio.
we're such bad influences on each other. I can't blame him for everything. I'm not a child.
You mean bad influences in terms of
drug-wise,
vices, or in terms of
drugs? Period.
You guys don't fight with each other.
Nope, we get along great. But the drugs is what broke us up. It's what caused a lot of shit between us. But we wrote some of our most best tunes on drugs, you see. But some of the stuff we wrote, a lot of the earlier stuff was just on marijuana, just on pot, not really heavy core shits. But when we got money in our pockets, so we got introduced to the high life,
Yeah, you can buy more expensive drugs.
Yeah, so that screwed up. So that's what happened with the Alliance thing. And that was only in Nashville. I lived in Nashville for like 4 months. I blew it. I should have did a country western album. Shoulda, coulda, woulda.
Yeah.
I mean, I had the best musicians in the world there. You know, the best country guys were there. You know, Ringo did Buku Blues. I mean, it would have been a whole experience for me to do that. But instead,
Hard Luck Woman always seemed a little.
yeah, kind of. That's right. That's right. And so we didn't. We wanted to do rock and roll. Forget about it. I don't give a fuck who you are. You are not going to break rock and roll in Nashville. There's just no way, no how. So I know that now. Leave them alone. Just leave their country alone. And we come barging in. I made a lot of great friends, though. A lot of country stars I met. Got drunk with a lot of them. It was an experience. We did a little road tour. We had our own bus. Nice bus. We had Thomas Dolby's bus.
That band actually played some dates.
Yeah, we did a few clubs. And I didn't play drums. I played congas, timbales, and percussion, and I sang up in front. And I had a drummer. 5-piece band. I had a ball. I did all the vocals.
Have you considered doing something like that for your new band?
I'll never do it again. I don't want that responsibility. It's frightening, but I learned to play some great timbales and congas now that I could fucking never knew how to do all the syncopation shit. But I belong behind my drums. And even when we would do the shows at the end of the night, the encore, I'd play, and the whole place would go absolutely insane. So, you know, it got to be, there was a message beating me in the head, Peter, you don't belong in front of me. Now I know where I belong, behind my tubs. I got a beautiful set of pearls. I just signed with DW Company, DW Drums. I'm using the new DW remote hi-hats and the double pedals, by the way, the new turbo double pedals. Yeah, only I'm not using double bass drum. I'm using double pedals on a single drum. I'm going to blow some fucking mind.
It's a new sound.
And so, you know, it's like, I can still do only there's one drum. So my fans are going to be in for some new treats because I've been really working fucking hard on these devices.
That's going to be something.
And I'm not used to remote. But it's cool if you use it. I'm not using any electrics. I'm still using acoustics. Matter of fact, I got 2 toms in the front, bass, 26, 24, beautiful snare, nice big fat snare, 16, 18, 14, and 10. And a massive bunch of cymbals. And that's my kit now. No more 24 drums. I don't need them.
You got a new.
I'm really bad on just. I can play on 4 drums and I love it.
All right,
I don't need a lot of drums like Eric Carr and any other drummers.
Yeah. You got a new sound now compare with the.
Well, I noticed less is best, I believe.
Yeah.
And I play tight and hard, and I'm right fucking there when I should be. That's my job. I'm a drummer.
That's fine.
So how much time was there between Chelsea and when you first joined Kiss or met Gene or whatever? A couple of years?
Yeah, a few years. 72. I was with Chelsea maybe from 68, 69, 70, 71.
So then you just went back to playing with some whatever local band?
Yeah, I played with these 40-year-old guys, I told you.
Was that a
played
group
stuff.
or you just like
They were a group, and the
casual?
drummer was Carmine Apiece, who's a good friend of mine now. Cousin, broke his leg, and they called me up. Joey, who was in one of my bands, the Brotherhood, great guitar player. And he was a little older, but he played so good. I mean, it didn't matter. I love the way he played, man. And he called and said, hey, I got a trio playing. I'm getting a lot of work. I'm playing Wednesdays, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. And the money sounded good. And I said, shit, yeah. He says, man, like the drummer broke his leg. You want the gig? I said, fuck yeah, I'll take the gig. I'm not working. I'm not doing anything. But I felt really depressed because when Chelsea came out, I thought I was big shit. And I started my stuff all over town like I'm the big star. Now,
You're back to where you started.
humble pie, you know, and the same guys who I shit on who played with me, and I used to go down to their club and sit there like a big star. Like now I'm famous. I was working with them again. They were nice enough to take me back, and I thanked them for it. And I played, and then Gene and Paul eventually came in to see me playing. But I played with them for a year or so, and I just worked. But I was so unhappy, not doing originals.
Oh.
We were doing jukebox music, and we weren't doing anything that was original. And Chelsea was original, and I've always wanted to do originals, so it was real desperation.
Were you able to? So you did a lot of the writing in your early bands too.
Yeah.
And did you do any singing too?
Harmonies. No one knew I had a voice. I didn't either. I used to sing great in the bathroom or in subways. I used to sing with a lot of doo-wop type bands. The older guys in me, they let me sing with them when I was a kid. So I've always had this raspy, natural voice. And one time, I should say, Eddie Kramer, I love him. When we first met, Paul was doing Black Diamond, and Eddie heard me kind of screaming around. He goes, why don't you try that? I sang. He goes, "That's it. Peter's doing it."
Really?
And then yeah,
You're supposed to do this on before.
this is the first when we first did our first demos. Paul was supposed to sing Black Diamond. I sung it.
Really?
Yeah,
Oh, nice.
and it was great. And then all of a sudden I heard myself
I
singing.
can
I
never
went,
imagine Paul
"Whoa,
singing that
that's
time."
pretty good." Although I recorded with a lot of my bar bands, we do and do some. I got a tape of me doing My Girl and Respect that I think is priceless. And you made me leave my happy home. Oh, since I fell for you, we did it like the Rascals.
Oh, real slow?
Yeah. Sure.
Rock and Roll All Night brings you interviews, reviews, concerts, music, and more. So for more Rock and Roll All Night content, click subscribe.